What is going on, everybody? I just ran a marathon. Oh, what a crazy day at work today. So I literally just got home like a half an hour ago, hurried up and ate, and then realized I left the dongle to the mouse downstairs. So if I'm out of breath, that's why I just ran downstairs and grabbed it and ran back up here. How is everybody doing tonight? Hey, Mike and Trish. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Jack. Thanks for joining in tonight. So tonight we have another special guest. We got Jonathan Hedrick. We got his project Capable number 1 through 3. He's been on the show before. We talked about the recount, and we also talked about, dang it, now it just left my mind. It'll come to me, or he'll tell me when he comes out. So without further ado, I'll bring Jonathan out. He's laughing at me. Zombie.
Freakshow Night.
Freakshow Night, that's it.
That's what I was on. I was promoting Freakshow Night back in September when you had me on before.
Yeah, I was like, man, I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, that Freakshow Night and the recount. That's the funniest thing. So I was thinking about the recount, and it's like with everything that happened with the election, and then when your book released, it's like, are you a psychic or something?
I've been asked that many times. Oh my God! Last week, Wednesday, when stuff was going down at the Capitol, my phone was blowing up with texts, phone calls, notifications. I was getting tagged and everything, and I just wanted to, like, just like this. Don't associate my book with that crap that's going on. I don't condone any of it. I don't want it. I'm not going to use that to promote my book whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's just sometimes, in the strangest ways, life imitates art. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, it's like The Simpsons. I mean, look at how many things that came true on The Simpsons. So now we can look forward to anytime Jonathan makes a book. It's like it's the things to come.
Right. So I'm taking commissions right now. If anyone wants me to write a story about them becoming rich and famous or falling in love or something like that.
They start at $1,000, right?
Yeah. So yes, $1,000 per page.
Per page. So let's talk about Capable a little bit. So you know, that's the project you have up right now. So, how did you come up with the idea for Capable?
It came to me about a year and a half ago. I really wanted to do a superhero series, but I wanted to do something different. But still stay in the realm of the superhero tropes, but kind of twist it up a little bit. And I always liked what if scenarios. I like when any story just takes one element from our regular world and then just twist it a little bit. So, in many superhero stories, the person that becomes a superhero or superpowered is usually someone that's opposite of what that power is going to be. Or like Peter Parker was kind of like a nerdy photographer, shy guy, and then he becomes Spider-Man, and he's completely opposite. But what if people with disabilities all gain superpowers, and how would that change our world? Because as you can imagine, not everyone's going to do the right thing with these newfound powers, especially after a life of being ridiculed and teased and bullied, or just simply having to deal with oh, this is Tessa. If I'm talking, she's on my lap during these videos. But Capable. Just the concept, the elevator pitch is one day people with disabilities start to begin to gain superpowers that are opposite of what their handicap is, and we see that play out over this series.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Now, is there anybody in your life that kind of, that you grew up with, or anybody that you knew that kind of made you think, this would be a great story?
Well, when I was in elementary school and when I was younger, I had a speech impediment, and I would go to speech therapy through elementary school till about fourth or fifth grade. And those classes that I got pulled out of my regular class was combined with other kids with different disabilities. So I was exposed to that culture at a very early age, um, from people that were blind, deaf, Down syndrome, and so forth. Um, I had exposure to it at a very acceptable, sponge-like time in my life when, if you approach people with these things early in life, they are more aware of it and accepting of it. Just like
Yeah.
how it's easier for a kid to learn a new language than it is an adult. So that understanding of how the people with disabilities live. I mean, I'm by no means someone that stands on a platform and speaks for them whatsoever. And this is not a book trying to peddle to them whatsoever. But I think I had enough experience and exposure to be able to tell it in the way I saw it,
Yeah.
without being offensive, without being preachy or anything like that. Because at heart, this book is basically like how you would. A lot of X-Men stories were told, or Teen Titans stories, where someone's different. Now they have a power, but that doesn't change their life in some of the trials and tribulations that they had before and are going to continue having.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask you is this kind of hits home for me because
Mhm.
my father-in-law, who passed away just a few years ago, he was quadriplegic, and
Mhm.
he had been ever since I met my wife.
Mhm.
Going on 17 years ago, and it was like everywhere we went, everywhere we would go, whether we went to the store, we went out to eat, people would just stare,
Right.
and it's like it's a really story. It's an easy story to comprehend because it's like
Right.
on one hand you would have people that would be like, all right, I want to do
Mhm.
something to better the world, and then you have the
Mhm.
people like Mr. Glass.
Yes. That's a good analogy. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to it because the term disability has a very wide range of what that could mean. Um, and my story flexes that range. It could be someone who just simply wears glasses that gains a superpower, and it can be the other extreme, like someone that's a quadriplegic that could gain powers. And I think what I've done with that is open myself up to a lot of storytelling that can come from it. So it's really exciting for me as a writer to have so much room to play with when it comes to telling future stories.
Yeah. So as far as capable goes, do you have a set? Are you just going to do a short run with it, or is it something that you're planning on continuing?
I'd like to continue it. At least the first arc of it is I have outlined for 7 issues, but that wouldn't be necessarily the end of the story. I would love to, if I had the resources to do this book monthly, I absolutely would. Um, but yeah, I hope it goes beyond the 7 issues I have outlined for sure.
Cool. So
Yeah.
you definitely have some arcs that you're going to come off of the story with
Hmm.
eventually down the road, though.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, because you're juggling more than one project. You
Oh
had
yeah.
you had what, Freakshow Princess, Freakshow Night, and then the recount, which you've got
Yeah.
another issue coming out.
February 17th
I was gonna
is
say I think it
issue
was the
two.
week of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, or the week of President's Day. I mean, I don't know. This was not planned. I promise you, Russ.
Then I
But
don't know. This is sounding no. I'm just kidding.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I do have a lot of projects, but that's a good problem to have. Um,
Yeah,
I also, am doing a little other things too. I've been a part of several anthologies. I'm working. I got other one shots that are coming out down the road. Me and Brian Silverbacks have some projects together. So yeah,
yeah, because that's what
trying to stay busy.
Arctica.
Yep, Arctica. That the art is completely done with that. Brian's coloring it now, so we have the Tales from Kara Prime that's going to drop in April on Kickstarter, which has a lot of short stories from that Kara Prime world, and then
Yeah.
after that, we should see the Arctica slash Loggerhead story go on Kickstarter. So hopefully this summer.
Yeah, and then you also had the story in Cthulhu Invades Oz that just
And you've been working on pronouncing that,
yeah.
haven't you? Because I remember our last interview, you're like, I can't say it, but
I'm like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, Cthulhu Invades Oz, and you
yeah,
did the story with the Tin Man. What if he
yep,
was at sea, and it's the salt in the sea, and
right. Heart of Rust. Yeah, that Kickstarter ended. When did it end? In November, December?
December. Yeah,
Yeah, so it should be fulfilled soon. So the backers of that Kickstarter campaign should be getting that soon. So they'll be able to get another taste of, some of my work outside of my own properties.
I'm gonna bring up the Kickstarter here real quick on screen so we can show it for anybody that's
Cool.
doesn't have access to go look at it right now. Russ, you had trouble saying Cthulhu. I would have never guessed that. And I don't know why either. It was just like the
It
whole
doesn't
tongue
roll off
thing.
the tongue. It doesn't roll off the tongue well.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah. All right. Yep. So this is capable. We have 48 hours left. Two days. Um, and almost at $4,000. So which is would be double the funding amount. So I'm really happy with the progress for this campaign. We also got branded as a project we love by Kickstarter. It was a huge, huge honor for me. This is my fourth or fifth Kickstarter, and the first time I got that. Hey, Jerome lettered capable number 3, by the way, in case anyone is curious. And Jerome also has lettered every other comic book in the indie universe.
Thanks for
um,
joining, Jerome.
yeah, thanks, Jerome. But yeah, Capable is my first campaign that got dubbed a project we love, and I so honored to get that. It means a lot because they don't just slap that on any campaign, randomly. So
Yeah, I noticed that the other day. I was pretty excited about that. It was a great project for them to dub a
yeah,
project we love.
yeah, thank you. So yeah, in this campaign, if you haven't backed Capable before, you can pick up the previous issues. There's plenty of reward tiers from the digital to the physical where you can get either just Capable 3 if you already picked it up before, or you can get all three of them as well.
And then I did have a question for you, Jonathan, and I did want to
Yeah.
explain to the audience too. If you guys were planning on buying these for your kids, it is for mature readers. Do you want
Yes.
to kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot, especially at cons and signings. People will pick up like Capable One. The cover is very approachable, if you will. And I've got like elementary school special ed teachers that would pick this up. I'm like, oh, this would be great for my 7-year-old students. I'm like, well, actually, it depends on what their vernacular is. It is for mature readers. It's written like with a high schooler voice, just like how I talked, and I think a lot of other people may have talked when they were in high school. So there is vulgarity in it. If this was given like a movie rating, I would say it's PG-13. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I just wanted to touch base on that because I know a lot of
yeah, I
people may not
appreciate that.
notice that it says on the cover, and they'd be like, "Oh, I
Mm,
picked this up for my kids. What did you
right.
sell me?"
Yeah, right, right. Yeah. There's the cover for issue 2. And the artist is Gino Casmianto. He's a fantastic artist out of Indonesia. Been working with him for about a year and a half now. Really, really great guy.
And I really love how in the first issue it shows her in the wheelchair and or
Yeah,
him.
yeah. And then yeah, the cape as the shadow, and then his shadow is the wheelchair. And that's
Yeah,
really important to me throughout the series it could be easy to lose the disabled theme. So that's one of the challenges for me, is to maintain that these characters, these people affected with these superpowers, still have a disabled, handicapped mindset of how they lived, and their actions are reactions from that life.
Okay. Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, it's like you said, it's really easy to lose the aspect of that because if they all gain superpowers,
right,
none of them are disabled anymore. So you kind of
right,
lose that whole sense of that. So that's why I really like the cover of how he's running, and then
yeah,
it's got the wheelchair as a shadow. That's cool.
yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. And if anyone wants to, they go to Spinwiz Comics. You can read issues 1 and 2 digitally for free right now. So I like to plug that because I'm not just trying to make a quick buck here. I want people to get invested in this series. So yeah, you can. The link will take you straight to Spinwiz. You create a free account with them, and you could read issues 1 and 2.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
And then here's the main cover for Capable 3. Still uh, continuing that shadow theme on the cover. This is Aaron, who is the love interest of our main character, Derek, who we saw in the previous 2 covers. So there's a cliffhanger at the end of issue 2. Anyone who's read that may kind of understand what's going on this cover for Capable number 3. And yeah, here comes the variant covers. This cover right here with the fist smashing the glasses is from a local artist in my neighborhood named Dominic Perosi. He's done several other variant covers for me, and we have this ongoing theme with his variant covers of taking something like a symbol of the disabled community and like crushing it or doing damage to it. So his cover for issue 1 was a handicap parking spot that has been destroyed. Issue 2, his cover was a yellow school bus with laser beamed in half with smoke rising from it. And then this one, someone smashing a pair of glasses. So that's what we're going to continue that with all his variant covers. It's a cool little ongoing continuity with those variant covers. And there's a tier where you can pick up all 3 of just his covers as well.
Okay, so people can get the back issue of the bus and the parking spot.
Yep.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of like crushing disability.
Right. Well, it's like showing that these people who used to be handicapped are now taking things out on the symbol that they were associated with, which is part of what I feel like would happen, out of animosity. This cover right here is done by another local artist in my neighborhood named Dirk Grob. We decided to do a homage cover to Flash number 123, which is the Flash of Two Worlds, where that was Barry Allen racing Jay Garrick. So this looks like that cover, but instead it's Derek in his superhero, speedster racing his disabled self to kind of show that analogy of him continuing to race both sides of his personality. Did you get those mini donuts?
Yeah, it's a running joke for the Naughty Fairies Con. Is we had Comic Unity last year, and I told them if we could hit 25,000, I would send them mini donuts. We didn't quite make it, so Dan's got to keep pushing for those mini donuts.
Yeah, and that cover that is exclusive to the Kickstarter campaign. It won't be printed anymore after this campaign, so it's extremely limited cover.
And you don't plan on doing an after campaign with Indiegogo. You're just saying, basically after the Kickstarter, you won't be able to purchase this book ever again.
Not that cover, yeah.
Not that cover, yeah.
Now, I did have a Kickstarter exclusive covers left over from issues 1 and 2 that I am offering on this campaign as well, because it's still a Kickstarter and also it's only being sold through a Kickstarter campaign related to Capable. So those are super limited as well, and there is a tier where you can pick up all 3 Kickstarter exclusives covers for issues 1, 2, and 3, but that won't last very long. After this campaign, there won't be 1 and 2 anymore.
And then here's some of the interiors.
Yeah, this is interior art by Gino Casmiato. Colorist is Priya Pillay. Both of those guys are returning from issues 1 and 2. And then, as I mentioned before, Jerome Gagnon is the letterer for this issue. Got some running inside jokes.
Yeah, gotta love it, man.
It's good that you have such a devoted, followers on your shows.
Oh, we get off the chain, man. It goes crazy. It derails really quickly.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. That's what keeps it interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, in this issue, we see someone in Derek's life gaining powers that we didn't see before, and he's also struggling with some adapting to regular life with these newfound powers. Here, where he's having a discussion with the track coach, asking him if he can join the track team, but he can't. He couldn't do it before when he was in a wheelchair, obviously, but now he can't do it because he's super powered. So that's kind of showing the duality of the situation.
All right, cool. So if you guys want to check that out, you can definitely check that out on there. And like he said, anyone that has joined in since he was talking about it on here with Spin Wiz Comics, you can click on this link and read issues 1 and 2 if you want to get interested in the story and back this project.
Yep, please do. Thank you.
And like he said earlier, only 48 hours to go. So get on it.
Yep. Capable.
Oops. It fixed itself and then I broke it again. StreamYard's been going crazy lately. Like they keep doing all these updates, like this cool little bubble stuff. And so, like before, when you would exit out, it would go to the minimized, and I would always have to go to the zoomed in, and it automatically did it for me. And I switched it back. So, how do you derail somebody in a wheelchair? You take away the wheelchair and make them able to run. Yeah.
Clever.
I'm sorry, Wendy. I'm crazy, and you're all figments of my imagination. Oh boy. What are we going to do with you, Jack? What are we going to do with you? So, do you have the full story all the way to 7 wrote out, or are you kind of writing this as you go?
As I go, I do. I have turned in issue 4, the script, to my editor, and just waiting for her to come back with any suggestions and corrections. Then I'll send that to Gino, the artist, and we'll get started. Hopefully, I'll have issue 4 done before the summer, and I can crowdfund that as well. But I just have a simple outline for the first arc up to issue 7.
Uh-oh, toddler sirens going off. Oh man, I got a 4 and a 5-year-old now.
Wow.
And some nights are very interesting.
I bet.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Well, it's been really hard on them. I mean, speaking of, the whole thing with Capable, it's like, the past year has been bad for anybody that's got any kind of mental disabilities or disabilities, period. Right. And, we've taken away their ability to go out in public, like my son, he's had open heart surgery at birth, and then at a year and a half, and then he's had, 2.5, and then at 11 months he had a cardiac cath, and he's had a couple of those in between here and there. And so we have to be really protective of him.
Sure.
And when last year we pulled him out with flu and RSV, and then then the Corona thing happened and the school shut down. So like we pulled him out a month before the shutdown even began, and so it's been really hard on him. And he's got some stuff going on, anxiety and stuff. So he hasn't been sleeping at night.
Yeah, tough, poor guy. Yeah, I feel for him. Yeah, it hasn't been easy for a lot of people.
If we don't have a Tyler siren going off, there's going to be a gunshot, an actual siren, or maybe just somebody shouting. At least we don't have freaking thunderstorms. Like that one day we were on here, and I was like, it's storming outside, so if I lose you guys, and they're like, sure, blame it on the storms. And it thundered and it shook the windows. They're like, holy crap, I heard that.
Right outside your window, huh?
Right outside my window. So what got you into writing? So we'll kind of derail away from the project a little bit, and we'll talk about you. You know, what inspired you to get into writing?
Well, I always enjoyed writing in some form or another, either in school or just kind of jotting things down in notebooks and never really doing anything with them. But a couple of years ago, I decided to merge some of the little short stories I had kind of tinkered around with into the comic book script format, because I've always enjoyed comic books and I've always read them and collected them. So I learned how to write a comic book script, and then it all took off from there. Once I started seeing pages come back from the stuff I wrote, it really it was just so cool to see like a tangible thing that I created be in my hands. Like when I got the first book back from the printer, it was just such a rewarding experience. I was hooked. I had Freakshow Princess, Capable One, and Recount One all in production at the same time.
Wow. That's quite the task.
Before any of them were printed at all. So once I got the rhythm and understood the process, I just went full throttle with it, and I haven't looked back.
Well, and then you had people throwing their stuff at you, like Arctica, and then Cthulhu Invades Oz, and you got all this stuff on the side, and you're like, you're trying to concentrate on your projects, which is, I'm not saying, it's a complaint to say, hey, people are throwing these jobs at me, but it's really cool, that, to have people come up and say, hey, I want you to write a short story for this anthology that we're putting together, or, to have Brian say, hey, Jonathan, I want you to write the story for Arctica, which I'm really excited to see that when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, it's really opened me up to being able to create relationships with other creators and learn from them. It's been a real blessing. As busy as I am with all this stuff, it's been a lot of fun. Can't stress that enough.
Jack says, you really threw yourself into the fire. Good job coming out the other side.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's not without some gray hairs, that's for sure. But yeah.
And then Jack, you said it was not Thunder and Lightning. You were just setting off explosives. Now, the show is on Tuesday, so we can blame Taco Tuesday, right?
Fast acting Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, fast acting. Oh, man. Must have been Taco Bell. So, yeah, it's really cool that, you just threw yourself out there and you had 3 stories that you had all in process all at once. And, now we went from Freakshow Princess to Freakshow Night, and now you're on Capable number 3. And
the Recount is in Diamond, being sold in comic book stores. Freakshow Night's going to be in Diamond next month. It's going to be solicited to comic book stores underneath the Second Sight publisher. So I got another book in Diamond. Freakshow Princess is part of Mississippi Zombie 2. That's an anthology that's being sold at comic book stores. So it's been pretty quick how this took off.
That's really cool. To get into Diamond.
Within a year and a half of starting to write comic books. So I couldn't be more grateful for
Now, do you have
what's
any
happening.
more signing tours? I know for like the recount, you had kind of like a signing gig with that.
Yeah, I'm doing a few stores in February and March here in Florida. It's hard to get some stores. Some of them, and very understandably, are practicing very strict COVID um, type precautions. So some stores aren't opened for signings, but yeah, I'm gonna venture to Jacksonville this time, and I'm gonna go to South Florida. I'm in Central Florida, so I usually go to stores in my neighborhood or in Orlando, but now I'm kind of venturing 3 hours away from where I usually go.
Now, you don't have any blank covers for Capable, do you? Because I know, like for Freak Show Night, you had the blanks that you had the sketch
Mm.
covers for.
Yeah, I had a cool orange blank cover for Freak Show Night. Yeah, I haven't seen an orange blank anywhere else. So if anyone does one, if Marvel or DC do it, they copy it off of me.
Yeah.
Um, and Freakshow Princess had a very low print blank cover too. Those are all gone. If you see one of those, pick it up and I'll buy it from you. Um, but yeah, no blanks yet. Oh, hey Paige, that's my second site buddy. Um, yeah, no blanks for Capable yet. We'll see. Maybe for the fourth issue, we'll do one as like a extra in the campaign.
Yeah, because that'd
You
be a
know?
cool idea. If somebody that
Mhm.
was into the series had a disability and they could find an artist to do something
Yeah,
like what you did with the covers, where it shows them running and they got the
shadow.
wheelchair as the shadow, or the person that wears glasses as the eye chart as a
Yeah.
shadow. That'd be a really cool idea to incorporate in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely up for that. Just got to do these kind of things organically. You don't want to force it. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
you've seen those Kickstarter campaigns where there's more cover options and there's pages inside the book.
yeah, I
You know,
get you.
and those can be really fun, but it can also be really overwhelming. And I fulfill the Kickstarters myself, so the more covers I have, the harder it is for me to manage the fulfillment part of it.
Oh no, I totally understand that. I mean, it's not just overwhelming for you; it's overwhelming for the backers. I mean,
Yeah,
the add-ons. If you got into the beta, like I'm
yeah,
setting
I
up,
did.
I'm setting
Yeah.
up the second Xeno Nanite Titan Kickstarter now and launching it next month, and so I still have add-on capability. But apparently, they took away the beta, so like anybody that didn't get on it can't get in on it now.
Uh,
So for some reason, we still have access to it. So I was like, oh,
uh,
cool. So that made it a little bit easier for people to have the variants, but like it gets overwhelming. You get on there like, here's
yeah,
cover A through triple Z, and you're like,
yeah,
it just I'll just is there a pack to buy them all? I can't decide.
right. And then there's too many surveys to deal with. So yeah, I kept it to the three covers. There are some add-on options where you could pick up Freakshow Princess and things like that. But yeah, I really wanted a very minimalistic campaign this time, just because I'm also trying to push issues 1 and 2 along with 3. So it's extra. I'm promoting 3 issues in this campaign.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. It's understandable completely. And then she's saying, hey,
Paid.
Lewis, what's going on,
Mhm.
Mister Late? Did your Hyundai break down on the way over here? Hey, what's going on, Mister
Oh,
Silverbacks?
I am very busy. Brian knows more probably than anyone else.
So, how close? If you can talk about it, how close are you to having the Arctica story done? I know
Yeah,
you said that Brian had the art pretty much done for the book.
yeah. Our the pencils and inks are done, and Brian's working on the colors. So after that, we just need to get a letterer, and yeah, kind of just make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Make sure it's nice and polished before we put it out in the world. So hopefully it'll be before the summer. It'll probably have to be after April though, since we have a campaign for what is these about the bang on 2021 again. Thank you, Paige. Paige. Yeah. But yeah, Arctica. I'm thinking May, June for that campaign.
Arctica is paused kind of for the anthology.
Yeah, we're gonna let the Tales from Kara Prime do its thing first, and then we'll drop that on everyone, and it's gonna blow everyone's mind.
So wait a minute, we can't gloss over this. So what's gonna bang out on the 23rd?
I gotta. I'm not sure what page is referring to. I know recount 2 is the 17th of February. 23rd. Do I have? What did I forget?
You got something coming out and you don't remember. No, I'm just kidding.
23rd is. Yeah, Paige, please remind me in the comments.
Maybe Paige was thinking that the recap came out on the 23rd. Man, that could be what it is. Something like that.
But yep. Lots of Oh yeah, Freakshow Night will drop in previews. Yeah, people will be able to order that one, and yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Freakshow Night's going to be in the next previews, which I should drop on the 23rd, so people will be able to pre-order that if they didn't back the Kickstarter. But if you back the Kickstarter for Freakshow Night, you should still pre-order Freakshow Night for your.
He says you got so many.
No, like I said, good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. So, I mean, to kind of promote some of the stuff you have coming out on previews, can you give us a rundown of what Previews Princess is about?
Yeah, Freakshow Princess is my very first zombie story. It is about this woman who's trapped in her boarded up house with zombies surrounding the outside of it, and she's trying to stay alive with her dog. And throughout the story, she's reminiscing on the events that led her into this situation where she's alone inside this house. And the version of Freakshow Princess that's going to be in Mississippi Zombie 2 is actually a black and white grayscale version. So if you've read or purchased Freakshow Princess either from your comic book store or through the Kickstarter last year, this is still a different version of it. It's the same story, but it's a cool like black and white, really zombie style story, and it's going to be included with 5 other zombie stories too. So hope you can check that out. That's already available on Amazon, but if you want to support small businesses, have your local comic book store pre-order it because it's in Diamond right now.
Now, you said Freakshow Night will be in Diamonds soon too.
Yeah, that should be in next month's Diamond.
So. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that I still had the cover in here from the one we did the last StreamYard because I love the cover for Freakshow Night. That was awesome.
Stefano Carselli was the interior artist, and he did 2 covers A and B, and those are going to be the covers that are going to be in Diamond. So if you missed out on that campaign, this is your chance to hop on it through your local comic book store.
Now, are you going to continue? This is probably going to be a question that other people have. Are you going to continue releasing the next issues on Kickstarter, or is everything going to be through Diamond from here on out? With those,
the Freak Show stories, I'll probably still release them on through crowdfunding like Kickstarter, and then through Diamond with Second Sight. Yeah, that it's just a great way for us indie guys to get some of the money back instead of waiting. We produce these books. If we give it to a publisher, it could be 6 months before the publisher puts it out, and then it could be another 3 months after it comes out before we get paid. So in order to keep a roof over our own head and food in our belly, the crowdfunding gives us some type of reprieve financially from all the upfront money that we've invested into the project already.
No, I totally understand that. It makes sense.
Yeah, completely. And you've done your own stuff. It's just, if with the recount, I originally had it planned to crowdfund that as well, but it just timing of all my other projects, I didn't have time to crowdfund the recount before Scout started putting it out, which it just worked out that way.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I mean, there's times too, like as an artist, where I went to C2E2 back in 2019, and when I walked up and got a signature from one of the artist was like, "Oh, I haven't even seen this book yet. It was released like 2 months ago. I still haven't got paid for it." I'm like,
Yeah,
"I'm sorry." He's like, "Oh no, it's nothing against you." He's like, "It just makes me go back and wonder. It's like, when am I going to get paid for this?"
yeah, lots of moving parts, lots of moving parts.
Yes, there is. So, is there any other stories that you have besides Arctica and some of the freak show series that you have that you're working on?
Yeah, I actually finished a script for a new series that I'll drop on everyone eventually. But I'm really excited about that because that's going to be a new 5-issue miniseries and more to come. I'll elaborate on it more once I have some art to show and things like that. But yeah, I'm constantly working. One thing after the other. I don't want to stay stagnant. It's just yeah, it's an addicting trade, writing and creating comic books.
Yeah, I just got. I was trying to copy the link and paste it. And I put it in the private chat. That doesn't help us out any. So everyone, there's the link again for Capable, the series that is on Kickstarter now for another 48 hours, probably 47 now. Definitely go check that out. If you missed the beginning of the video, go back and watch what Jonathan has to say about it. Trish, you are.
How would you say the news events last couple of days? Well, it,
You missed that conversation at the
yeah,
beginning.
we brought that up at the beginning, but essentially, I can see people linking them together. But what happens in the recount is even far more extreme than what happened on Wednesday. So yeah, I definitely don't condone anything like that happening. So it's really unfortunate what happened last week. People lost their lives, and it's a terrible thing in the name of believing in extremely believing in a certain political stance. So, but the recount is about um, it's about how wrong sides are in the first place and how dangerous it is when you draw that line in the sand and you stand too firmly on one side or the other. And if there's anything I want to get across, I've told people all along that the recount isn't is not an agenda book whatsoever. But if anything comes out of it positive, I just want people to take that line in the sand and just erase it. I think we'd all be better off that way.
Lewis said, I like the internal pages. They're so vibrant. Well done, Jonathan.
For the recount, yeah, that's Gabriel Ibarra Nunez. He's a fantastic artist, very talented guy. Um, he's from Chile, and yeah, I might have to fly down there, chain him to a desk, and force him to draw more comic books for me.
Force him to draw more comic books for you. Hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I've been really fortunate to work with so many great and talented people. I really believe that they are the reason for this success I've had already. I tell people I've stacked the deck, in all my projects. And if it wasn't for some of these real talented individuals from pencils to color and lettering, I would still just be typing up weird stories that no one would see. So
Yeah. Well, and that's the great thing about the indie community. You know, it's like you fall into a great group of people that do nothing but lift you up
Exactly.
and give you the tools that you need. You know, and it's great. Sometimes you get way more information than what you bargained for. You
That's for
ask
sure.
you ask one question and it leads into 50 other things. Oh, and by the
Yep.
way, have you thought about this? We need to do this, and it's like,
Yeah.
well,
It goes
hold
off
on.
these tangents. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, my head's gonna explode.
Right. Too much input.
Well, and it's so hard. It's so stressful doing a Kickstarter campaign because it's like,
Hmm.
you know, you promote, and you put it out there, and it's like you get a lot
Yeah.
of hits at the beginning, and then it just kind of is like the
Yeah.
screeches to a halt. And it's like you're lucky to get like maybe one or two a day, and then you
Right.
lose one or two, and then you gain one or two, and then it
Yeah.
goes up a little bit. And so, you know, it's about trying to get yourself out there and getting on shows and talking about the things you're working on
Yeah.
and trying to be like, hey, you know, come check out this awesome project. And
Yeah. Yeah.
if anybody
It,
hasn't checked out Capable, it looks freaking amazing. The artwork looks great. The story sounds amazing.
mhm. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Eh, Kickstarters, they're fun, and at the same time, they can be really heartbreaking. So,
Yes, they can.
lots of emotions, highs and lows. Anyone that you want to work with that you haven't, oh, that's going to take another hour or two of me name dropping people. But I will say, if I could, first thing that comes to my head is Jay Lee. You know, he did a lot of those early Dark Tower books from Marvel. And Gabriel, my artist on the recount, was able to work with Jay Lee recently on a book at Dynamite called The Sacred Six. So I feel like I'm 2 degrees separated from working with Jay Lee because of that.
Yeah, the Sacred Six has been pretty good so far too.
Yeah. Oh, I've been a Vampirilla fan for a long time, and Christopher Priest is another person I'd love to work with. And he's a fantastic writer, and yeah, I think he breathed a lot of new life into. That's a weird thing to say about Vampirilla, breathing new life into her.
A
Uh,
vampire, yeah, but she's not really a vampire; she's an
an alien.
alien. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But yeah, his Vampirilla stories have been
pretty wild.
rejuvenating that series. And then yeah, Jay Lee's working on that stuff, and Gabriel got to do some stuff too, so that's pretty cool.
And then Paige also has a question. He said, if you had a chance to go back in the '90s and write any of the original Image titles, what
Oof.
would you pick?
And the original Image stuff. Oh man, so many good ones to choose from. I would have to pick the Max. Sam Keith's The Max. So when I was reading that as a preteen, teen in the '90s, I was like, this is way above my intellectual. There's something about this that I'm not getting, you know. But it looks pretty freaking cool. But now when I revisited the Max, I'm like, oh, it all made sense in a very bizarre way, and I had a newfound appreciation for it, and I think that would be a fun book to be able to write. So Sam Keith, if you're listening, let me know.
Is that why? 'Cause she's an alien? No, it's not why I like her so much. I mean, it is why I like it so much.
Yeah,
Vampirella
it's
is just a great take because it's like she's a vampire, but she's not a vampire. She has none of the weaknesses that vampires do. She can walk in the sunlight. She's immune to silver, and
yeah,
like if she bites somebody, they don't become a vampire. And
yeah.
her mortal enemy is Dracula. And so it's
Right.
like you got an alien vampire versus an actual vampire. And it's just, I don't know, it's just an awesome take on it. I thought it was really cool. So that's why I like Vampiro.
And she strangely has no tan lines.
Yeah,
That's weird.
it's weird. For a vampire that can walk in the sun, they don't tan.
Weird.
I mean,
Weird.
great. Now you're going to make everybody that's ever done art for Vampirella think about that. Come March or April, we're going to see Vampirella covers, and she's going to have tan lines. I'm like, it's all your fault, Jonathan. You wait. I'm going to message you. Here's a question: if you could write any DC character in a Marvel comic, who would it be, and vice versa?
Whoa, Paige coming up with some deep questions. All right. If I had to put a DC character into the Marvel universe, I would pick Nightwing. I'm a big Nightwing fan, so I think he would be fun to play around with, and maybe with the X-Men, and then maybe move the Punisher into the DC universe and have him wreak havoc in Gotham City for a while. That was a pretty cool question.
And that'll be an interesting battle. Punisher
Yeah.
versus Batman. Who has
Well,
the best gadgets?
I know they've done a couple of those miniseries before in the '90s, but yeah,
Yeah.
how those crossovers work. They beat each other up in the first couple of pages, and then they find a common enemy, and then they have to work together.
Well,
Stories
and then
over.
you had the DC Vampirella crossover too. So you had the Vampirella and Catwoman, the
Catwoman.
Furies,
Yeah.
or as I like to call it, the Furries.
Yeah. One R makes a big difference.
One arm makes a huge difference. What does he say? Make everybody Vampirella doesn't have tan lines because so I think it was supposed to say maybe Vampirella doesn't have tan lines. We gotta love autocorrect. Autocorrect is the worst enemy on Facebook Lives because she's an alien with alien technology, and we'll leave it at that.
That's fair. Yep. Or it's comics.
Yeah, it's comics. We can just make up. And
Oh
then
yeah.
Nightwing would sleep with all the females on the X-Men.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him.
And he said they had 2 crossovers.
I think he's referring to Batman Punisher. Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't think I've ever seen any of those.
Yeah. It was inevitable, to have those two guys.
Duke it out.
Yeah.
Who's got the bigger guns?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about the new Batman.
Yeah, I've got a chance to read the Future State thing. In my opinion, just at a quick glance, they do this every now and then. They throw these characters into the future. They're like, oh, blah blah blah, and then nothing ever comes from it. So, yeah. Do you print variant covers of your books? Yes. Capable has this campaign has 2 variant covers. One of them is a Kickstarter exclusive. Only will be printed for this campaign. But yeah, all my books have variant covers. Behind me, this banner, that's the variant cover for Recount #1 by Brian Silverbacks. That was a 1 in 10 exclusive cover.
Yeah, no,
So,
I'm really upset too because I ordered that on the
Scout.
no, not from Scout, from the previews, the poll box thing.
Oh, didn't
And
get
I didn't
one.
get it.
Oh, so you could have got it at cover price, and yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, whenever you announced that there was a Brian Silverback cover, I did it on poll box, and I was like, I called my comic shop. I'm like, hey, I want the 1 in 10 Brian Silverback's cover. And so then when it came out, I was like, hey, did my cover come in? Oh no, it didn't. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
They threw it on eBay is what they did.
Oh, I doubt they did that, but
okay, that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's still available in the Scout store. I think the last time I looked, it's $20. So
it's like they have those Vampirella neck gaiters that they did for September. No, it was October and November. I pre-ordered those on Pull Box.
Didn't get one of those.
No, I didn't get either one of them. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So,
man, we'll blame it on Diamond.
Damn you, Diamond. Or you get, they get the shipment and all the books are like,
yeah.
But I think they're learning now. I think they're finally learning after the whole thing over last year. And
don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. That's right. I would love to see a World War Superman, like they did Hulk. That would be the DC comic I would write.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
That would be. Either he didn't order enough to get the 1 in 10, or he came damaged. Maybe there's no telling.
Yeah. Well, I know that was an unlockable 1 in 10, meaning that they didn't have to order 10 of the main to get, each. After they order 10 of the main, they can get as many of that cover as they wanted.
So they didn't have to order multiples of 10 to get multiple
Right.
issues. Once they
Right.
hit 10, they could get 10
Yeah.
of the.
Right. So who knows? Maybe they just got shafted.
No, what probably happened, Jack, is Mike forgot to put it on the order form because Mike forgets stuff like that, and Jack knows who I'm talking about because he goes there too. So Ed has another question where he says, "How do you choose your variant covers?"
Yeah, well, it all depends on the theme of the book and the artist. What I think the artist can do. So, like Brian and I went back and forth on the Scarface one. We decided to go with movie themed homage cover, and our plan was to do like a different movie for all 4 issues. So we're still waiting to see if that works out. With the Kickstarter cover for Capable 3, I really wanted to do the Flash 123 homage cover. So yeah, it all depends from one book to the other how the variant covers work. Thank you, Paige.
Have a good night, Paige. Enjoy your Crown Royal Apple.
He's always drinking Crown Royal Apple. Not always. I should have said. Now everyone's gonna think. Well, yeah, I appreciate Paige. Yeah, me and him were at a con in November together and had a good time. Slinging comics.
So I think Ed's fielding questions. Ed's an artist, one of the artists that I know really well.
Gotcha.
So I guess he's wondering how you field for artists.
Yeah, I mean it all depends on so many factors. It's the person's style, the rates have a huge thing to it too. So I reached out to artists and asked them how much for a cover, and they told me a certain dollar amount, and I was like, all right, well, if I hit the lottery, I'll come back to you. So there's so many different variables into picking a cover artist and what I want them to do too. So
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I mean, when you're funding a project, it's like you gotta budget, and you don't want to blow past it because then
right,
you got to raise the prices on the Kickstarter, and then you don't have as many people buying stuff, and
yeah.
you want
Then
somebody that's going to do the image that you have in your head the way you want it portrayed.
right, yeah. And when it came to the recount, I was really fortunate because of some of the store exclusives. They paid for that artist and commissioned it themselves, and I just had to approve of it. So that's why there's a Ben Templesmith cover for a recount. I would never have been able to commission him. I wouldn't even know how to get a hold of him, but I have a Ben Templesmith cover for the recount. And then this is the Alan Qua cover. That guy, banging artist, and wouldn't be able to afford him myself, but now I have several copies of the recount cover that he did. So again, so fortunate, in the short time I've been making comic books to be linked up with a lot of creative and talented people.
So writing's a passion for you. It's not just like you're out here trying to make a bunch of books and make a bunch of money. You're just
If making money was my goal, I would not be achieving it right now. Well, it's all right, Ed. On that subject about covers, I designed a cover for the Freak Show Night campaign called the Writer's Variant cover, and basically it's the front page of the script, and that did actually surprisingly well. I think we talked about that during our September interview, Russ. The Writer's Variant cover.
yeah, the writer's variant, the one with the coffee stain on the front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So sometimes I do that.
Yeah, so what he's talking about is my stick figure.
Oh, gotcha.
He's ripping on me because like Ed's like, what do you want for your Vampirella commission? And so I sent him a stick figure drawing, and it's not the first time, and it's not the only person. Armando Ramirez has received a stick figure picture from me. I'm like, this is what I want. Only not stick figures. This is why I'm a writer and they're artists.
Right. Only way better.
Only way better.
Do
And
this, but some good.
yeah,
Yeah.
so no, I mean, this is the extent of my art. I got a nice little stuffed pool variant that I did here of Steph Wilson as Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassin.
Ah, very good.
Great. We've gone from toddlers to now the cat's running back and forth through the house yelling. So,
If it's not one, it's the other, right?
oh, yeah. Yeah, see here. Nope,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a toddler or a cat.
that's my cat. She's upset. She
Oh,
says it's time for lovin's, and I think she's locked herself in the bedroom downstairs.
oh wow. Yeah, I can hear her now. Yeah, that definitely is a cat.
Russell stick figure drawing is still better than that. Jenny Noble. Oh my god, we don't even talk about his drawings on freaking Unscripted. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That's great. I don't have it on here either. No, we got this though. We got stuff with
Wow.
Where is Steph Wilson at anyway? We were ripping on him hardcore earlier. Oh man,
I'm sure he's doing someone's cover right now.
What's that?
I'm sure he's working on someone's cover right now.
Oh yeah, probably. He was on with Henri Compen earlier, and we were ripping on him hardcore. He's been dissing deep dish pizza.
Delicious.
So yeah, it is, isn't it? See,
yeah,
we got this one more person on the bandwagon. He says it's not. He says it's a bread bowl with soup. I mean, it is, but it's still pizza.
It's still pizza. Yeah,
it's still pizza. So I told him we were going to get him a pineapple and olive pizza because he doesn't like pineapple on pizza and he hates olives. So we're going to go kidnap him. Lewis is warming up the white van. He's going to pick me up on the way, and we're going to go get Steph Wilson, and we're going to kidnap him and take him to Chicago and make him eat a pineapple olive pizza.
it'll make his day.
It'll make his day. Not really, but we can always rip on him. So yes, we did the stick figure thing. I was trying to bring up that. I don't know why it won't come up on here. I was going to show that off for anybody that wanted to see the art from it, but it's being a pain in the butt because I had it uploaded into StreamYard, but apparently I deleted it because I got way too much stuff in here.
Yeah, that happens.
It happens.
It adds up. It adds up quickly.
Doing 2 a week and people sending me stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm going to add this in here.
Yeah,
and it'd make it easier if they would allow you to upload 10 or 20 images at once, but you have to do it one at a time. And you have to wait for it to upload, and then you can upload the next one.
Yeah.
It's like it's 2021. So I guess I need to work on a fan art piece of one of your characters.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to see it, Ed. That sounds good.
Yeah, Ed did a piece for Xenonanite Titan. Here's one of his piece that he did here.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think we talked about that one before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's badass in person. It looks really good. When I got it, I was like, "What did you use to do this?" And he was like, when he told me colored pencils, I almost fell over.
Yeah.
Like if I did it in colored pencils, it would be worse than a stick figure drawing.
Right. Yeah.
So what are your goals for 2021, Jonathan? Besides cranking out Capable 3 and getting Arctica out there and getting the recount rolling, what are your main goals for 2021?
I'm hoping to write more scripts than I did last year. I want to have a couple more successful Kickstarter campaigns. I'd like to launch my new series that I'm being careful about not saying the name of because I want to keep it secret for now. Add some mystery behind it, but I'm hoping I want to do a lot more writing this year and work with some new people and just keep on producing comic books for everyone.
And that's the worst thing too, when you have this project that you're like trying to keep secret and you get on a show and it's like you start talking, you get relaxed, and it's like it almost comes out. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, get back in there.
Reel back a little bit.
Reel it back. And then when people ask you to try to explain your book, it's just like,
well, soon. I reached out to an artist today that I'm hoping to hear back from that individual, and maybe we can get things rolling. So,
well, I mean, just explaining your book in general, like when you were talking about the elevator pitch for Capable earlier. It's
Yeah.
hard to come up with an elevator pitch, especially if you have a story that twists and turns, and it's like, all right, how do I not ruin this, and this?
Yeah.
It's much better when it comes all the way out, and then afterwards you realize I shouldn't have said any of that. Now we'll save that for when Wendy Steenshaner's on. She is the revealer of secrets.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So guys, I don't want to keep Jonathan any longer. He's probably got stuff to do. I just dropped the link in here for Capable, and I am going to drop in his link here for Linktree. That way you guys can find him. It's got his Facebook. Anything you need to find him at, it's on there.
Yep. Comixology link, the Spinwiz link, Instagram, Twitters.
She's so bad at it too. Wendy is the revealer of secrets. She is. You get her talking, and she'll, he's got to keep her rolling. That's the way you do it. And what did he say? That's my problem with Omni. Always feel like I am going to say too much.
Yeah.
Well, and the good thing is those are the feeds that you can delete. There's only a select few people that hear it, and you just go, all right, we're going to delete this and pretend it never happened. People are like, didn't you do a show last night? Like,
no.
I did? I don't remember that. And Jonathan has stuff to do. I thought he only writes stories. Just kidding. Oh, get out of here. We're both going to smack you around, Jack. Hit the road, Jack. So I'm going to leave you the full screen for you, let you tell everybody, give them one last rundown of Capable and what it's about and where everybody can find you.
All right, thank you. All right, everyone. Yep, Capable issues 1 through 3 is live on Kickstarter for 2 more days. It'll end Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you like superhero stories along the lines of X-Men, Teen Titans, I think you'll like Capable. It's basically set in a world where one day people with disabilities gain superpowers that are opposite of what their handicaps were. So please check it out on Kickstarter. Back it if you can. If anything, share it out on social media. And thank you for your support.
And I apologize for the crazy cat and the crazy toddlers in the background tonight. It's not always like this.
No worries at all.
It must be a full moon tonight or something. I don't know.
I still appreciate you getting me on here, Russ. Give me an opportunity to, signal boost.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you being on here. And when that new project hits the market, and when Arctica goes to come out, I'll be more than happy to have you and Brian on, and we'll kick that thing out there.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
I appreciate you being on here. I'm going to kick you to the back. If you want to hang out for just a second, I'll be back.
Sounds good. Thanks, Russ.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming tonight. Sorry about the craziness going on in the background. It's one of those nights tonight. The kids don't want to go to bed. Yeah, as you can tell, he's not happy. So definitely check out Capable. Check it out on Kickstarter. If you can't back it, definitely please share that out there. And I will drop that link in here one more time for you guys. Because even if you can't afford to back it, a share is worth its weight in gold because someone you may know might be able to back it. But we say that all the time, but I like to stress that. So definitely share it out if you can't back it. Back it if you can. It looks like a phenomenal story. I'm going to check it out later tonight and pick me up a copy of it. And I definitely look forward to reading that. So everyone, thanks a lot for being here. Also coming up this weekend, sometime this week, hopefully if I get off early enough tomorrow, we might do it. But Toddler Fight Club is coming for reals. So I will talk to you guys later. Yep, you're welcome for the interesting show, Jack. Thanks a lot for you guys for being here. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys checking out these creators and these projects. Got some interesting stuff coming down the pipeline this week, so stay tuned for that. And as always, Russ Explode Studios, projects that'll blow your mind. You guys have a great week.